Right. Buckle up, buttercups, because the EU has just dropped a bureaucratic bomb that's about to turn your summer holiday into a digital dystopia. Starting October 12th, British travellers are about to discover that getting into Europe will be harder than getting a straight answer from a politician. And guess who's not happy? Our favourite pint-wielding provocateur Nigel Farage, who's telling Keir Starmer to grow a backbone and fight back. But here's the kicker. Starmer's response has been about as decisive as a weather forecast. Now, before we dive into this absolute car crash of diplomatic disaster, let me paint you a picture of what your next trip to Spain is going to look like. Remember when you used to flash your passport and waltz through EU borders like you owned the place? Well, those days are deader than a dodo with a death wish. The EU's shiny new entry-exit system, or as I like to call it, the European Enthusiasm Slayer, is rolling out with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the skull. From October 12th, every British traveller will need to prove they've got medical insurance, a return ticket, and enough cash to survive their holiday without becoming a European vagrant. Oh, and they'll be taking your fingerprints and mugshots like you're auditioning for Britain's Most Wanted. But here's where it gets properly mental. You'll also face a barrage of questions at automated kiosks that sound more like a job interview than border control. Do you have accommodation? Can you prove you're not broke? Are you planning to overstay your welcome? Answer wrong, and you'll be hauled off for a one-on-one with a border guard who's got the power to send you packing faster than you can say croissant. And the timing? Pure genius. Just as everyone's trying to book their post-summer breaks, the EU decides to unleash this digital nightmare. It's like they sat in a room and asked, how can we make Brexit feel even more painful? Mission accomplished. Brussels. Now, our man Nigel Farage has come out swinging harder than a pub fight on New Year's Eve. He's telling Starmer to stand up for Britain and fight the completely over-the-top rules. And honestly, for once, Farage might have a point. The man who spent years shouting about EU bureaucracy from the sidelines is now watching his predictions come true in real time. Farage has compared this new system to getting into America, and if you've ever queued for hours at JFK while some overzealous customs officer treats you like potential terrorists for bringing back a duty-free Toblerone, you'll know that's not exactly a compliment. He's asking how on earth we negotiated a deal this catastrophically bad, and frankly, it's a question that deserves an answer. But here's a truly delicious irony. Farage, the man who championed Brexit as our ticket to freedom, is now complaining about the consequences of actually leaving the EU. It's like ordering a divorce and then being shocked when your ex-wife changes locks. What did you expect, Nigel? A red carpet and a mariachi band? Meanwhile, Starmer's handling of this situation has been about as impressive as a chocolate teapot in a heat wave. The man promised a reset with Brussels, but this reset looks more like hitting the factory default settings and discovering all your data's been wiped. Where's the tough negotiating? Where's the British bulldog spirit? Because right now, Starmer's looking more like a British poodle who's forgotten how to bark. Shadow Transport Secretary Richard Holden has jumped on the bandwagon, claiming that hard-working Brits are coming off second best because Starmer failed to negotiate a better deal. And you know what? He's not wrong. While Starmer was busy talking about resets and relationships, the EU was quietly preparing to turn British tourists into digital suspects. The real kicker is that this system has been in the works for ages. It's not like Brussels sprung this on us overnight like some bureaucratic April Fool's joke. This has been coming down the pipeline longer than a delayed Northern Rail service, and yet somehow our government acted surprised when it finally arrived. Let's talk about the practical nightmare this is going to create. Picture Dover on a busy Friday afternoon, already a scene that would make Dante weep, now at fingerprint scanners, digital questionnaires, and confused British tourists who can barely operate a self-service checkout, let alone navigate EU border technology. It's going to be chaos with a capital C. And don't even get me started on the medical insurance requirement. Do you know how many Britons rock up to Benidorm with nothing more than a prayer and a packet of paracetamol? Now they'll need comprehensive coverage just to buy a pint in Prague. The travel insurance industry must be rubbing their hands together like cartoon villains. The automated kiosks are another stroke of bureaucratic genius. Because nothing says welcome to Europe like being interrogated by a machine that's probably less intelligent than your average toaster. And if you fail the digital quiz, you get the privilege of explaining yourself to a human border guard who's already had to deal with 50 other confused Brits that morning. But here's what really gets my goat. Starmer told us we got a deal where we could go straight through digital passport gates. Well, congratulations, Keir. We can go straight through to more bureaucracy. It's like promising someone a shortcut and leading them through a maze designed by a sadistic architect. The Home Office, bless their cotton socks, says they are working closely with everyone to make this simple. Simple? The only thing simple about this is how simply awful it's going to be. They are supporting ports and carriers to ensure registration is easy, but somehow I doubt their definition of easy matches the average holidaymaker's expectations. What's particularly galling is that this comes after years of Brexit promises about taking back control. Well, we've certainly taken back control of making our own lives more complicated. We've gone from being rule makers to rule takers, and the rules we're taking are designed by people who clearly think British tourists are potential security threats. The 90-day rule is already causing headaches for expats and frequent travelers, and now this digital tracking system will monitor every move like some sort of European Big Brother. Welcome to the future, where your holiday starts with a biometric scan and ends with an algorithm deciding if you've overstayed your welcome. And let's be honest about the real impact here. This isn't just about inconvenience, it's about cost. Travel insurance, documentation, potential delays, missed flights, it all adds up faster than a premium rate phone line. Family holidays are about to become significantly more expensive and complicated, all thanks to a deal that was supposedly in our best interests. Farage's criticism might be politically motivated, when isn't it? But is highlighting a genuine problem. We were promised sovereignty and got bureaucracy. We were told we'd have more freedom and ended up with more forms. It's like ordering a luxury cruise and being handed a paddle boat and a map. The October 12th deadline is looming like a storm cloud over the travel industry. Airlines, ferry companies, and airports are all scrambling to prepare for a system that nobody fully understands yet. It's like trying to organize a wedding while the venue is still being built and nobody knows what the menu is. What makes this even more frustrating is a complete lack of reciprocity. EU citizens visiting the UK don't face anything close to this level of scrutiny. It's a one-way street that benefits Brussels while punishing British travellers. So much for those special relationships and mutual cooperation we kept hearing about. The truth is, this is Brexit reality hitting home in the most mundane but impactful way possible. Every family planning a European getaway is about to discover that leaving the EU has consequences that go far beyond abstract political theory. This is real life, real costs, and real inconvenience for millions of ordinary people. Starmer needs to wake up and smell the bureaucratic coffee. Either fight for better terms or at least be honest about what this reset actually delivered. Because right now, it looks like we reset our relationship with Europe back to the 1970s, complete with lengthy border queues and complicated paperwork. The saddest part? This was all predictable. Anyone with half a brain could see that leaving the EU would mean being treated like any other third country. But somehow our politicians acted shocked when Europe started treating us exactly like that. It's like cancelling your gym membership and then being surprised when they won't let you use the facilities. So there you have it. Folks, welcome to post-Brexit Britain, where a weekend in Paris requires more documentation than applying for a mortgage. Nigel Farage is demanding Starmer stand up to EU laws, but the harsh reality is that when you leave a club, you don't get to dictate the membership rules anymore. The October 12th deadline is racing toward us faster than a politician running from accountability, and British travellers are about to discover that freedom of movement is now just a fond memory. Thanks for watching UK Pancakes. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this dive into diplomatic disaster, and let me know in the comments whether you think Starmer should fight back or if this is just the price of Brexit sovereignty.